something that is still in the garage.
David?
We I think some of
David?
Hi, Lakao.
Yes, I did announce that we'll start at 12:15. So maybe if you can just indicate to the students who are already there that we are starting at 12:15. We're just wrapping up here in this.
All right, super.
Okay, great. Sure.
all our examinations and colleagues.
Yes.
Okay, we meet again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for your patience. You have been waiting a while we were wrapping up in another session. The session that came before this one was on student assessment and administration. We were learning about the different proctoring tools or invigilation tools, as well as formative assessments, examinations. So if you missed out, please do revisit the recording there. In this session, however, we will continue to have the chat open for you to raise questions. And those questions, as I keep saying, should be limited to the topics covered in this session, which are related to Student Representative Council. You did hear a little bit about them in the student development session that took place from 10 to 11. But I think I've got the SG of the NSRC, who's going to take you through a presentation and discuss with you different ways in which you can make and take advantage of their availability to serve and represent you in the various structures of the institution, and basically being your voice to the rest of the university. So I'm going to hand over to him, and maybe before I do that, let me first just welcome him. His name is Apiwe Dlamini. Mr. Dlamini, if you could greet the students, and I'm going to be displaying your presentation in a short while. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Apiwe Dlamini. Greetings to our students. This is the National SRC, Apiwe Dlamini, the Secretary General. I would like to welcome all of you here today in our presentation. Yes, we are the voice of students. We are responsible for whenever we are having issues with us, who are always at the forefront in championing those issues. So here, I'm just going to take you through in terms of what is the SRC, what is the work of the SRC, what do we do in terms of everything. So as you know that UNISA is the mega university, which is responsible for ensuring that we bring services to students. So what is the SRC? The SRC is participating in institutional decision-making structures, advising and supporting the delivery of effective and efficient student support services. So our work as the SRC is that where decisions are taken, we are also included. We raise issues and also come up with solutions to represent you when you are not there. So we are participating in the development and implementation of institutional and national policies on higher education. So yes, the SRC, we are here for 2 years. So elections were in October last year. So every 2 years, we go on for election whereby you student elect us to represent you. So let's go to another slide. If we can go down. Initially, the SRC is here for 2 years. So in the SRC is like this. We're having a national SRC and a regional SRC. When you're in KZN, we have campuses, we have an SRC that is there. When you are in Limpopo, there's campus. When you are in Gauteng, so we are having Gauteng region, Limpopo, Johannesburg, Mpumalanga, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Midlands, and KwaZulu-Natal. So the regional SRC exercises its authority and functions within a region as per the demarcation of the university. And also the national SRC is the highest structure in matters of student governance, and therefore holds the authority within its jurisdiction as the executive body of the SRC in the entire. So it means that we are the highest structure in terms of making decisions. So in regions, we are well represented. The regional SRC is there for you, whereby you are having issues in the region, campuses, or you can't access your study material, or you any issue that might happen in your region, you can just contact the regional SRC. If it's beyond them, it's where then they take it to the national SRC, whereby we are able to make sure that you are assisted by any means possible. So we play a role. So as we know that there's a regional SRC that also must make sure that they sit in our meetings together with the national SRC. So any issues or queries that might arise from the region, we are also there as a national SRC to make sure that we champion those issues. So if we can go down also, so that we can, yes. So many people, they ask themselves, what is our main focus? Because as the SRC, we are having many issues that need our attention. So one of them is the student debt. So you know that when you have graduated, then you are owing the institution. So we are embarking on student debt with over 800 million student debt in the university, where there are students who have completed their studies but cannot graduate due to the student debt. The SRC will be driving a campaign to raise funds to assist students as an intervention to student debt. So as we come from different backgrounds, so we have taken it upon ourselves to make sure that no student must be excluded due to financial constraints. We are embarking on a campaign to make sure that all of our students, they are able to graduate and be given their certificate. The other thing that we'll be embarking on, because we have seen that we're having issues of NSPAS, whereby many students, in terms of their allowances, so that we have taken upon ourselves to host the NSPAS we had. So the SRC is embarked on a plan to host NSPAS and here to address the increment of NSPAS allowances. As we know, students, that UNISA, things are changing now. We're having young people who are entering the institution, people from, let's say you are doing matric, but because we are universities of choice, so our students have decided to enroll in unis. So then it makes it difficult whereby other institutions, they're receiving, let's say, 1,500 a monthly allowance, and you are getting just 300. So it doesn't make sense because we are changing, but we are embarking on the struggle as we've been embarking on. And also what we have taken upon ourselves is the administrative dysfunctionalism of NSFAS, whereby if you are a student, they tell you when you want something, you can't get hold of NSFAS because offices of NSFAS, they are in Cape Town. So it becomes difficult for a student to get a quick response. So we want to address those communication barriers to make sure that there is no student of ours which is excluded as the SRC. So we also want to update our policies of the SRC and student policies. So the structure plans to have policy engagement to update policies to keep up with the changing times and evolving pedagogies in the university. And examples of this includes the SRC constitution and the policies on plagiarism, amongst others. As we know that we students must make sure that we focus on our studies and avoid plagiarism, because we're having number of cases of plagiarism. So we want to also engage our students and caution them on the danger of plagiarism, so that you focus on the studies, you don't get to be suspended because of doing wrong things. So we also want to address a student living with disability. So I have students who are living with disability. Students living with disability are often neglected and excluded in decision-making sitting. Hence, the SRC plans to redesign plan to address this and and service delivery to these students together with their lack of participation in governance. So we are just going to embark on a vigorous campaign to make sure that they are not excluded just because they are disability, they are not neglected, even in decision making. We make sure that they form part of decision making, their voice is heard, because they are also people like us, and we want to make sure that we don't leave anything behind as the national SRC. So we invite you, students, to say that our doors are open as the SRC. You must never, ever find it difficult not to contact us. You must never, ever feel not being represented. Any issue that we have, just take it upon ourselves. So let's go down so that we can explain further. So how do you reach the SRC? Because we are not celebrities, we are reachable, we are here for you. The contacts of the SRC, which you must familiarize yourself with the UNIS with my UNIS. The SRC is structured like this. We have the national SRC and the regional SRC. The contacts of the national SRC and regional SRC can be accessed from my UNISA site and are listed according to the national SRC and the regional SRC, with the president being Mr. Nkosinathi Mabilane. We are having a very progressive president in our time, which is very energetic. So he's always busy championing student issues. And of course, myself, the Secretary General, being Mr. Akwel Dlamini. We're also having our colleagues in terms of the deputy president being Clarence Mabuta, and the deputy secretary being Iya, and then the treasurer being Nokuthula Mathunzi. So I just want to show you something here in terms of how you can contact us. And then we're also having the additionals in terms of being undergrad, postgrad, sports officer, and education and training. So these are the tips for academic success, because students, we must focus in UNISA, and UNISA is a university of choice. You must be able to familiarize yourself with your studies and take it upon ourselves. We have just, these are the academic successes. Contact the right people for your queries. Familiarize yourself with the right department for your different queries. For example, in this, if you're having a query, let's say you're my life, your my UNISA, you're having difficulties, you want to change your number. You must know which department you must go to. For example, in region, there are student queries. You go there, because if you're having a challenge in terms of your NSFAs, in terms of your funding, you must familiarize yourself in terms of going to the right department to student funding. So you go there. So it's very important in UNISA to know the department so that you are not you don't get to be frustrated because you don't know where to go. Number two, UNISA is an ODL, but capacitate yourself. What do we mean that UNISA is an ODL institution? You must first understand what does it mean to be an ODL institution? What are the benefits? Which I think that as we enroll in UNISA, do not limit yourself, do not limit your learning to only what is provided in the study material. So you must be broader with our libraries in terms of your studies and everything. Join online and physical communities. It's very important, student, that you create a group whereby you are having a module. Come to campus. The campus is open. Don't be students who are always staying at home. Come to campus, access these campuses, formulate groups, stay in groups, study in groups, so that you are able to familiarize yourself with the social media groups of UNISA students that are ethical and discuss student-related matters. And also, if you are able to visit campus to meet students and organizations that are within your study area, be an active student. I always say like this, man. You see us as the SRC, who are finding it very difficult, student, to represent you in terms of in structures, because you know that wherever we go, we are representing you, but you are not coming to campus. It creates a lot of impact whereby we are speaking for you, but you are always sitting at home. which makes it very difficult for other issues for us to champion them. Because if you don't come to campus full, let's say I'll make a typical example because we're a student. Even management is there, but I will just be biased. Come on, you see, when we are representing you now, and then we reach a deadlock whereby we're saying that we don't agree with management in terms of their decision. We need you as the voice to come and say, no, as you said that we must do this and this and this. We must come back and report to say this and this cannot happen, this and this can happen. But how can we do that when you are sitting at home, when you don't come to campus? They are going to even close these facilities if you don't access them. So it's very important to come to campus, do your study groups. That speaks to being an active student, partake in the university events, college programs, and volunteer where you can. Check online tutorials and any additional material for your convenience. Look for and engage with online materials aimed at easing your studies academically and administratively. So it's very important that you familiarize yourself with tutorials. You will not get it wrong. Focus on study goals, create goals. As NATUA, we created goals. Our colleagues have graduated. We know, being a student, and we are also students, never neglect your studies. That is a very important tool of never neglecting your study. So let's go to I think our last slide. Our last slide is to say thank you, UNISA students. We hope that you are going to work well with the SRC. Please access us. We are here for you. Never ever think that we are not reachable. Make sure that even on social media, we are here. Even if you want our contact number, you must feel free because we are here representing you. But please do access campus. Take your studies seriously. Thank you very much from the National SRC together with the Regional SRC. We are happy to see you in these numbers. 290 people attending this orientation. It shows that universities are having students who are very focused, who are very focused in terms of their studies. Thank you very much, in the department, for hosting us.
Great, thank you very much. A round of virtual applause for the SG there. I think he touched on very pertinent issues, issues of students taking responsibility for their own learning, for their own studies. I think those tips are very key, and I also share the same sentiment. SG, I have a couple of questions for you before I look into the chat to see if students have raised some questions there.
Yes.
You did say that you are present in all of the regional campuses. I want to find out if you have an actual office in the regional centers, that if students happen to be on campus, that they can walk into an office to be able to speak to someone.
Thank you very much. Yes, as I've said that in all regions, we are having an office. There are offices in the region. If you can come to a region and say you want an SRC office, they will direct you into the SRC office where they were present for sure.
Okay, great. Then the next question is about if they want to participate in activities relating to the SRC, processes or projects. That is the one. How do they do that? How do they go about that? But other than reaching you through or physically through walking into your regional offices, is there any other way that they can get hold of you?
Oh, thank you very much. No, we are having on social media. We are there on social media, and then on my UNISA there's a website of the SRC whereby we update in terms of our programs, in terms of our plan, where we will be when we're contacting our students. So we're there online. We're also even in regions because we are having students. Most of the students are in our region. So we work closely with regions. So whenever we are having a program, we communicate with the regional capacity so that they can reach all of students. But Mainly, we are here in Pretoria, main campus, the National SRC. Us, we are stationed here in Pretoria main campus, but we do go to region also to assess and check the work that is done by the SRC, also the services of our students. But we're there social media, we're even there physically.
Okay, that is truly noted. No, thanks. And I want to just say to students that they are being represented by a very strong leadership that they themselves are students. So whatever challenges that you are facing as students, they also face. So they will try much better and harder to resolve them because they're equally affected by the same challenges themselves as they are part of the student body. So please do make use of the support that is available through your representatives rather in your different regional centers. I do have a question here, SG, about whether students who are doing PhD can also be involved in your space.
Yes, as I've said, when I listed the portfolios in the National SRC, they are also represented as postgrad. We have a postgrad officer who's Mahlomula Hlabisa. Mahlomula Hlabisa is dealing with issues of postgrad. We also have programs for them. We represent everyone, so they are also included. They are also welcome. Make sure that they provide as intellectual scholars, some of them, so that solution driven when we're having challenges. So they are also represented. We're also there for them, so they can just reach us any given time.
Great. No, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if there will be any further questions from the chat related to you in particular. I see that there's a question that's talking about data. If you go back to the 9 to 10 session, you will find a recording that talks about the SCSC, which is the Student Communication Services Center. They did indicate, and I'll just look for the email address that they provided, because students should be able to get data on a monthly basis. If you have not received yours and you are fully registered, you should be able to send your email to that specific email address so that you can get assistance. So I'm gonna try and post it in the chat as soon as we are done here. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else for the SG to address while he is still here. Okay, so I think you answered the question about whether it's possible to fully join the SRC, even if you are a remotely based student. So as part of activism and yeah, you will need to be on campus mostly so that you can be able to get the mobilization going on matters of common interest for yourselves as students. Okay, I don't see anything else related to you. Okay, so let me just look at this one. I think there's someone in the chat that I must mute. Let me do that. Sorry about that. Let me go back into the chat. I wanted to address a specific question. I applied. Do I have to go to the regional center to collect it, or will it be delivered to me? Student access card. Student access card, you go to the campus because you need, just like Home Affairs, you must go and sit in front of a camera there so that they can take your photo and they will immediately issue you with your student card. Okay, and then the last question is about presentations being recorded. Yes, all the presentations are recorded. As I promised, if not today, you will definitely get in your inbox tomorrow an email that has got a link to all of the sessions from Monday last week, so that you can review them at your leisure, but also to keep yourself updated in terms of what you have missed. What is very, very important that I want to leave you with before we move to the next and last session of the orientation week is that throughout the entire week, these orientation sessions had about 24 sessions in total. And throughout the week, all that you were hearing from what the colleges were presenting, from what the support departments were presenting, from what the regions were presenting, all that you were hearing was that we are here for you. And we care so much that we have made all of these support services available to you free of charge. The duty is upon yourself that when we say there's a training for digital literacy in a particular region, if there's a workshop on academic literacies, when there is examination training on proctoring and what have you, whenever we call on you to please rise and take up the opportunities. Those opportunities are meant to help you. They are meant to make sure that you are fully prepared, whether it is for assignments, whether it is for examinations, whether it is just for you to be able to use your digital device to do many other things, access library, for example, and be able to request material online without having to walk into a library if you do not have one near you. So that's my appeal as we close this session. SG, thank you very much. You have done wonderfully well, and students, let's appreciate the SG and the National SRC. Let us please make use of the representatives that have been elected so that you can be able to get what you are looking for.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
going to ask that we jump off, SG, if you want to Valelisa or say something in conclusion.
Yes. I just wanted to say and appreciate this platform. Also, our students, to say to them, as we are here for you, you must never ever feel like we are not here, we are not representing your interest. So please make sure that you use us because we are here at your disposal. So at any given time, please access us. But please just focus on your studies and avoid plagiarism, and make sure that you have your goals, and so that you can achieve them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. In fact, you have touched on something. Maybe let me steal one more minute and say something, because it also came in another session about SMSs that students are getting to say there's a help for assignments. You have to pay whatever amount. As I keep saying, and I will forever say it, if you see anyone, or if you hear of anyone, if you receive anything that talks about money and UNISA and it's not your fees, please just note it is not a legitimate UNISA process or activity. But I must also just indicate here that you get tempted sometimes, and you know that 800 rand that you are paying to get someone to do your assignment, that same person is doing the same assignment for the next person, and you end up with two identical assignments. And both of you are definitely going to get 0. You might even get a much harsher sentence than just getting a 0. You might be suspended from the university. So please make sure that when you have assessments to do them diligently, religiously, well on time, so that even if you have technical challenges on the day of submission, that it was maybe your second attempt at submitting your assignment. Don't wait until the last minute, because there usually are no extension to the deadlines and so on. So just make sure that you have your proper study plan in place. When you go to your assignments tabs on my module, be able to see all the due dates for the assignments. Just make sure that you stick to those particular dates, unless otherwise advised by your academic, if there's an extension or not. But just keep at it, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate that you were able to join this and many other sessions that have already taken place. The last session is on student funding, all your NSFAS questions. will be responded to in the next and last session. SG, thank you very much. Students, thank you very much for joining. We appreciate you and the time that you have put for these sessions. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you.